Mewtwo is one of the most famous characters in the entire Pokemon franchise, and Smash Bros. Fans were livid when he was left out of Brawl. But thanks to the magic of downloadable content, Mewtwo strikes back as a new character for Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS and Wii U. Mewtwo made its Smash Bros. Debut in Melee, but he was originally planned to be playable in the original N64 version. Unfortunately, he was cut alongside other characters that would go on to appear in Melee, such as Princess Peach and Bowser. There also exists quite a bit of unused data in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, such as Victory Fanfare and a Wiimote character selection sound that confirms that Mewtwo was in development for the game, but it's unknown as to why he was scrapped. Anyway, I'll try to stop boring you with a history lesson, and instead, let's move right into Mewtwo's special moves. Because he's a DLC character, Mewtwo doesn't have any custom attacks. No, you don't just need to unlock them, they straight up don't exist. However, YouTuber Mancolor was able to glitch a few of Mewtwo's custom moves into the game, but they all basically do nothing. Sorry folks, let's take a look at his regular set instead. First, we've got its standard special, the Shadow Ball. Ever since the move was first introduced in Generation 2, Mewtwo has always been able to learn this attack via Technical Machine. Heck, this move is so closely associated with this mutated monstrosity that Mewtwo has even used this attack in the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, before Shadow Ball was even introduced into the Pokemon games. Its side special is Confusion, which has been one of Mewtwo's starting moves since all the way back in Generation 1. In Smash, it can be used to spin your opponents right round like a record, baby. Wow, that joke is very outdated. Anyway, you can also use this attack to reflect projectiles. Much like Confusion, Mewtwo's down special, Disable, has been one of its starting moves since Generation 1. In Smash, this allows this legendary Pokemon to temporarily daze its opponents. It has a very short range and is only effective on enemies that are facing Mewtwo, which doesn't make it the most practical of moves, but the more damage your opponent has taken, the longer the paralysis will last. And finally, we have Mewtwo's up special, Teleport. What's interesting about this move is that in the Pokemon games, a Mewtwo can only legally learn Teleport one way, through TM30. However, Teleport has never been available as a TM ever since Generation 1, which means that only a Mewtwo from Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, or Yellow can learn this attack. Really neat! While Mewtwo's special moves are derived from Pokemon attacks, the rest of its moves are completely unnamed, which means that we're gonna have to turn to some good old-fashioned speculation and look to the Pokemon anime series to try and make sense of things. For example, while Mewtwo's forward throw simply looks like it's firing multiple uncharged Shadow Balls, personally, I think it more closely resembles the move Psyshock. Not only can Mewtwo learn it, but it also looks remarkably similar to the anime's portrayal of the attack. Additionally, its forward aerial looks like the Psycho Cut attack, albeit with only a single blade. But let's get back to what we do know. Mewtwo doesn't hold any of its items, or even walk for that matter. It and every item that they interact with just floats. Clearly, this is a form of telekinesis. I mean, how else can you explain its up and back throws? A trophy from Melee even backs us up by saying, quote, "As Mewtwo relies mostly on its powerful brain, there are times when it scarcely uses its arms and legs." Lo and behold, Mewtwo has been able to learn the move telekinesis ever since its debut in Generation 5, and as we can see in the Pokemon anime, Pokemon with this attack are able to freely move people and objects. However, before telekinesis was even an attack in the Pokemon games, Mewtwo clearly demonstrates telekinetic abilities in the first movie and the anime series. Outside of telekinesis, lots of Mewtwo's attacks revolve around him smacking people with its tail. This is really strange because throughout all of Pokemon's history, the only tail-related attacks that Mewtwo has ever been able to learn are Iron Tail and Aqua Tail, and these are clearly neither of those attacks. If we had to absolutely tie this into a Pokemon move, the closest thing we could call this is Tail Slap, but that's a signature move of these guys. I don't know about y'all, but this is about as far away from Mewtwo as you can get. However, his down tilt can easily be said to be Low Sweep, a move that Mewtwo has been able to learn via TM ever since the move's debut in Generation 5. Now, here's something a bit interesting about Mewtwo's moveset in Smash Bros. While we know for a fact that Mewtwo's standard special is the Shadow Ball, there's no real explanation for the dark energy that he harnesses in plenty of his other attacks. I refuse to believe that this is simply psychic energy, as what Mewtwo produces is distinctly different from what we've seen of psychic abilities in the games, anime, and even Smash Bros. Itself. Oddly enough, it seems to resemble Lucario's aura abilities more than anything else. Now, I know that this is a long shot, but even though these moves appeared in Melee, which was several years before Aura was even introduced in the Pokemon series, I'm willing to wager that these moves are a form of dark aura that Smash's Mewtwo is able to harness, tainted by Mewtwo's dark emotions, of course. Even the Pokédex claims that, quote, "It's said to have the most savage heart among Pokemon." I know that this just sounds like stupid fanfiction, but Mewtwo can even learn Aura Sphere naturally ever since the move first appeared in Generation 4. But hey, I'll be the first one to admit that I might be reading a bit more into this than I should. What we do know is that Mewtwo's final smash has him Mega evolving into the graceful, floating bottle opener known as Mega Mewtwo Y, who uses his signature move Side Strike, first introduced in Generation 5. Let's wrap things up by taking a look at Mewtwo's taunts. His up taunt comes back from Melee. You know, it's just Mewtwo being evil and stuff. Mwahahaha. As for his side taunt, man, I don't even know if this comes from anything, but come on, it would fit right in with Dragon Ball Z. People say that Mewtwo looks like Frieza enough as is, and this certainly isn't helping. His down taunt, however, comes directly from one of Mewtwo's victory animations from Melee. Well guys, if you want more Smash goodness, then punch the last episode where we talk about the On It and Foresight stages, or click this annotation to check out my popular Ocarina of Time opinions.